I think Joseph will beat Daniel Dubois and become a two-time world champion.
Daniel Dubois is growing into the right direction as a fighter that believes in himself at 27 years old. His style suits a young man. His style, with a young man that believes in himself, it can be concussive.
I think it's a really, really good fight. I still think it's a 50-50 fight. Joseph Parker has proven himself at that stage where he's beaten Wilder, he's beaten Zhang, two amazing wins. And then when you look at Daniel Dubois, he's just got a massive knockout win against Anthony Joshua. And then you look at...
I love it. I love the fight. I spent a bit of time with Daniel towards the back end of last year when he got back from Brazil, and was really hoping that his team, Frank Warren and the guys, would agree to fight Joseph Parker.
The upcoming bout between Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker is shaping up to be a crucial test for both fighters. Dubois, a young powerhouse, has been on a steady rise, while Parker, a former world champion, is eager to reclaim his spot at the top. With contrasting styles and strong opinions from boxing experts, this fight is set to be one of the most intriguing matchups in recent memory. As we analyze various perspectives, let's break down the key insights leading up to this highly anticipated showdown. David Higgins, Joseph Parker's promoter, has expressed unwavering confidence in his fighter, stating, "I think that Joseph Parker beats Daniel Dubois with ease and becomes a two-time world champion." Such a bold claim suggests that Higgins sees significant weaknesses in Dubois' game that Parker can exploit. While many may see Dubois as the fresher, more powerful fighter, Parker's experience and technical ability cannot be underestimated. Having fought some of the best heavyweights in the world, Parker has faced adversity before and knows what it takes to win at the highest level. If Parker can control the pace, use his superior footwork, and avoid getting drawn into a slugfest, Higgins' prediction may not be far from reality. However, Dubois' power remains a real threat, and Parker must be wary of any openings that could lead to a devastating knockout.
I think Joseph will beat Daniel Dubois and become a two-time world champion.
Higgins went on to say, "I think that Anthony Joshua made Daniel Dubois look much better in the ring than what he actually is, because AJ never wanted to be in that ring with Daniel Dubois." This statement suggests that Dubois' performance against Joshua may have been misleading, and that the young heavyweight benefited from Joshua's reluctance rather than showcasing his true skill set. If this is true, then Parker might expose Dubois' weaknesses in a way Joshua did not. Dubois is undoubtedly a powerful and aggressive fighter, but if he was made to look better than he actually is, Parker's experience and composure could give him the edge. In Yoen Koile Fin, Dubois will need to prove that his performance against Joshua was no fluke, and that he can replicate such dominance against a seasoned veteran like Parker.
I think, no disrespect to Anthony Joshua, like he did amazing things, but he didn't really want to be in that ring with Daniel Dubois, mentally a bit shot, and I think Anthony Joshua made Dubois look way better than he is.
Higgins further elaborated. Therefore, Joseph is coming in as an underdog, and Daniel Dubois, that won against someone that never wanted to be in the ring, gives us the upper hand and shows the world what Dubois really is worth. Parker being labeled as the underdog may actually really work in his favor. Throughout boxing history, underdogs have often thrived under the pressure of being counted out. Parker has the chance to use this narrative to fuel his motivation and execute a game plan that can neutralize Dubois' strengths. On the other hand, Dubois will be under immense pressure to live up to expectations. If he struggles early on, doubts may creep into his mind, allowing Parker to capitalize on any openings. The psychological battle will be just as crucial as the physical one in determining the outcome of this fight.
Coming in as an underdog against Dubois, who's coming off an easy win against Anthony Joshua, is not a problem for Joseph Parker.
Higgins continued, "You've got two guys steaming in 3 wins back-to-back, and don't get me wrong, this will be a pretty close fight." While Higgins has confidence in Parker, he acknowledges that this fight is far from a guaranteed victory. Both fighters are entering this contest on winning streaks, meaning their confidence levels will be high. This sets the stage for an intense battle where neither fighter will want to take a step back. Dubois, with his youthful energy and knockout power, will aim to overwhelm Parker. With his experience and tactical awareness, will look to weather the storm and take the fight into the later rounds, where his superior endurance could come into play. This balance of momentum makes for an unpredictable and thrilling encounter.
You got two guys who are in their prime, steaming in off 3 wins with momentum, who are arguably coming into their best. So it's a very good fight. Don't get me wrong, it's a close fight, and if you know, it could go either way. But I'll back Joseph Parker on that one.
Renowned boxing commentator Adam Smith shared his enthusiasm, stating, "I absolutely love this upcoming fight, and I met Daniel a while back in Brazil. I always hoped that they agreed to fight Joseph Parker." Smith's excitement reflects the widespread anticipation surrounding this matchup. Fans and experts alike recognize the significance of this fight, as it serves as a crucial step for both men in their careers. For Dubois, a win would further cement his status as a rising heavyweight contender. For Parker, a victory would mark his resurgence in the division. This fight has all the ingredients of a classic showdown, and the boxing world will be watching closely to see how it unfolds.
I love the fight. I spent a bit of time with Daniel towards the back end of last year when he got back from Brazil, and was really hoping that his team, Frank Warren and the guys, would agree to fight Joseph Parker.
Smith further noted, both of them have great momentum, and obviously Daniel Dubois is to be favored, but Joe Parker is not an old fox yet, and he is really keen on this fight and really believes he is going to win. While Dubois is seen as the favorite, Smith acknowledges that Parker is far from finished. Many young fighters have underestimated veterans in the past, only to be humbled in the ring. Parker's belief in himself will be crucial in this fight. If he can execute his strategy effectively, he could turn the tables on Dubois and remind everyone why he was once a world champion. Dubois will need to prove that his favoritism is justified by delivering a dominant performance, but Parker's determination and experience make him a dangerous opponent.
Both of them have got real momentum. Yeah, Daniel will be favoured to win. He's the younger guy. He's the one to beat, really, I suppose. But Joe Parker is not an old fox. He's not old yet. You know, I spent a lot of time with Joe recently as well. He's really, really keen on this fight. He really believes he's going to win.
Smith concluded his thoughts by saying, "This is no doubt going to be a fantastic fight, on the best card I've ever seen." Such high praise further cements this fight as a must-watch event. With two heavyweights who bring their own unique strengths to the table, fans can expect fireworks from the opening bell. Dubois' knockout power and Parker's durability create a fascinating stylistic clash that guarantees action. This fight has all the makings of an instant classic, and regardless of the outcome, both fighters will likely gain newfound respect from the boxing world.
I think it's a fantastic fight for the heavyweight division on the best card I think I've ever seen.
Johnny Nelson shared his thoughts, stating, "Daniel Dubois is going in the right direction, and his style is absolutely great as the young man he is. It is concussive." Nelson praises Dubois' raw power and aggressive style, which makes him a dangerous opponent. Dubois' knockout ability has been his biggest asset, and if he lands cleanly, he can end the fight early. However, Nelson also acknowledges Parker's strengths, stating, "Joseph Parker is a really good boxer and a cute boxer as well as a clever boxer. Parker's intelligence in the ring and ability to adapt could be the key to neutralizing Dubois' power. This fight will be a clash between brute force and tactical prowess, making for an exciting battle."
Daniel Dubois is growing into the right direction as a fighter that believes in himself at 27 years old. His style suits a young man. His style, with a young man that believes in himself, it can be concussive.
Nelson further remarked, "This is a good fight, and I can see why both fighters are going into this direction for a win. The strategies that both fighters employ will determine the outcome of the bout. Dubois will likely come out aggressively, looking to impose his power early. Parker, on the other hand, may try to drag the fight into the later rounds, using his experience and technical skills to outbox Dubois. The fighter who successfully executes his game plan will have the upper hand."
Joseph Parker he's a good boxer, he's a cute boxer, he's a clever boxer. So it's going to be brains against brawn.
Shane McGuigan confidently stated, "I think that Daniel Dubois will win within 4 or 5 rounds." This bold prediction suggests that McGuigan believes Dubois' power will be too much for Parker to handle early in the fight. However, Parker has a proven track record of durability, having gone the distance with top heavyweights. If he can withstand Dubois' early onslaught, he could turn the fight in his favor as the rounds progress.
But I think it's a good fight. Either way, I can see why both fighters could win.
Shane McGuigan confidently stated, "I think that Daniel Dubois will win within 4 or 5 rounds." This prediction suggests that Dubois' power and aggressive style will be too much for Parker to handle early on. McGuigan, who has trained some of the best fighters in the game, sees Dubois as a young force with the ability to dismantle opponents swiftly. However, Parker has been in the ring with hard-hitting fighters before and has shown resilience. If Parker can weather the early storm, he may have a chance to expose Dubois' endurance and defensive lapses. The early rounds will be crucial, and Parker must avoid taking unnecessary risks while Dubois will look to impose his power from the opening bell.
Daniel will get to within 4 or 5 rounds.
McGuigan continued by saying, "I won't be disrespectful towards Joseph Parker, but his last few fights have flattened him. This remark raises concerns about Parker's recent performances and whether he still possesses the sharpness required to compete at the highest level. While Parker remains a former champion with significant experience, McGuigan implies that his recent outings have not been as impressive as Dubois'. However, Parker's experience should not be overlooked. He has faced world-class opposition and understands the pressures of big fights. If he can channel his past successes and bring his A-gang, he might surprise those who are counting him out. Dubois, on the other hand, will aim to exploit any vulnerabilities that Parker has shown in his recent fights and prove that he is the superior fighter.
I'm not going to be disrespectful to Joseph Parker, but the last few fights have flattered him. I think where he was against Jack Massey, he looked sluggish, ponderous, kept getting buzzed with the right hand because it was the speed that was getting to him. He's used to being the faster man.
Rising boxing star Adam Azim shared his thoughts, saying, "I think that this is a really good fight. However, I still believe this is going to be a 50-50 fight between these two fighters." Unlike McGuigan, Azim sees this matchup as more balanced, acknowledging both fighters' strengths and the potential for an even contest. This view aligns with many boxing analysts who believe Parker's experience and skill set will offset Dubois' youth and power. Azim's perspective highlights the unpredictability of heavyweight boxing, where a single punch can change everything. While Dubois may have the advantage on paper, Parker's ability to adapt and fight strategically could make this bout much closer than some expect.
But I think it's a really good fight. I still think it's a 50-50 fight. Joseph Parker has proven himself at that stage where he's beaten Wilder, he's beaten Zhang, 2 amazing wins. And then when you look at Daniel Dubois, he's just got a massive knockout win against Anthony Joshua, and then you look at...
Azim added, "However, looking at the fights that Daniel Dubois has won, it is more likely that Daniel could win, but it is not going to be an easy fight for him either." This statement recognizes Dubois' track record and potential, but also acknowledges Parker's resilience. Dubois has racked up impressive wins, often finishing fights in devastating fashion, but he has yet to face a fighter as experienced and battle-tested as Parker. If Dubois expects an easy victory, he may be in for a surprise. Parker will likely look to drag the fight into the later rounds, where he can use his durability and ring intelligence to turn the tide. This insight adds another layer of intrigue to the fight, as both men have clear paths to victory depending on how they approach the contest.
Looking at that fight, Daniel can win this fight, and I think he can, but it's not going to be an easy fight for him.
With expert opinions highlighting the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters, this bout promises to be a thrilling encounter. Will Dubois live up to expectations, or will Parker shock the world as the underdog? Stay tuned for all updates, analysis, and coverage leading up to Fight Night.